Welcome back, my little curiosities. Before we get started, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with somebody who enjoys strange little stories that leave you sitting there afterwards going, okay, but what was that supposed to mean? Because today's Fairy Tale Friday story comes from Grimm Fairy Tale and is called A Pack of No Goods, and it's interesting for exactly that very reason. There really isn't one nice, neat moral tied up with a little bow at the end. So today, guess what we get to do? We get to be co-authors, y'all.
Oh,
Yeah, we get to
wow.
do that. We're gonna write something together. We're gonna make meaning together. So the Grimm's brothers gives us the story, but we get to decide what we think it means, which I think we do every time, but we're really gonna get into it today. Anyway, while I'm reading, I want you to pay attention to something else too. Who do you identify with in this story? Are you one of those little troublemakers running around causing chaos? Are you somebody who appears at the door and lets everyone in? Are you somebody standing off to the side thinking, oh no, I would have seen these people coming from a mile away? Or, and more importantly, why? Why would you be one of these people? Because sometimes the characters we sympathize with tell us just as much as the story itself. So keep this question somewhere in the back of your mind while we read. Who are you in a pack of no goods? And what do you think this strange little story is actually trying to tell us? All right, y'all, gather around. Let's see what kind of foolishness these people or chickens or whatever the hell we're dealing with today have gotten themselves into. I'm going to put Oreo Jr. back here and let him live, and let's get to our story.
All right.
The rooster said to the hen, the nuts are getting ripe. Let's you and me go up on the hill and have a good feed before the squirrels cart them away. Oh, yes, said the hen. Come on. We'll have a lovely time together. So they climbed the hill, and because of the fine day, they stayed out all day, that sounds like a really pretty day, picking up acorns and stuff. That's so pretty. Now, I don't know if it was because they were feeling uppity, but they didn't like the idea of walking home. So Rooster built a big carriage out of nutshells. When it was finished, Hen sat down in the back and said, it looks like you'll have to harness yourself. Don't make me laugh, said Rooster. I soon walk home. That wasn't our agreement. I'm willing to sit on the box and drive. But pull between the shafts, oh no, nothing doing. As they were arguing, a duck came along. You thieves, she cried. Who told you to come up here on my hill, on my nut hill, sorry. Just wait. I'll make you pay for this. Mm-hmm.
Don't mess with the duck.
Don't mess with no ducks. Some of them evil. And opening her bill as wide as she could, she leapt at the rooster. But the rooster wasn't behindhand. He fought back with a will and finally relabored the duck so hard with one of his spurs that she begged for mercy and gladly agreed to being harnessed to the carriage for punishment. Okay, so that long-winded thing is basically saying the girls were fighting and windmilling. Okay, that's what they were doing. They was fighting and they was windmilling over some nuts. Period. Oh, and I guess Rooster won. Rooster sat down on the box. He was the coachman and he shouted as they sped away, run, duck, as fast as you can. Okay, to use the duck as a horse, period. When they had gone a little ways, they met two pedestrians, a pin and a needle, who cried out, stop, stop. It will soon be pitch dark, they said. too dark for us to go another step. Them some random passengers opinion and it was random, but okay, we're going with it. Because remember, we creating our own meaning after this. This story crazy. Anyway, and the road is so filthy, and we be so much obliged for a lift. You see, we've been to the Taylor's Tavern outside the town's gate, and we lingered too long over our beer. I didn't know pins and needles could drink, but boom, it's fairy tales. Seeing they were skinny and wouldn't take up much room, Rooster stopped or told them to hop in, but they had promised not to step on his feet or on hens. Late that night, they came to an inn. They didn't want to go any further in the darkness, and besides, the duck was footsore and wobbly. So they decided to stop. Okay, the duck said, "I'm tired of pulling this cart, honey. Okay, I'm tired of being your horse." At first, the landlord said his house was full and hemmed and hawed about taking them in. He probably thought they didn't look the better class of people. They're not people, sir. This is a duck, a rooster, a pin, and a needle, and a hen, I think. So, okay. But they spoke so sweetly, promising to give him the egg hen had laid on the road and to let him keep the duck who laid one that very day. And in the end, he said they could stay the night. They sat down to table, ordering the very best, and spent the evening carousing. In the gray of dawn, when the whole house was still asleep, Rooster woke in, took her egg, and pecked it open. The two of them gobbled it up and threw the shells on the hearth. Then they went to the needle, who was still asleep, took him by the head, stuck him in the cushion of the landlord's chair. Okay. Next, they stuck the pin in his towel, and then, without so much as a "by your leave," they flew away. The duck, who had stayed in the yard because she preferred to sleep out of doors, heard them swishing over the hearth and roused herself. As soon as she could find a brook, she swam away. Yeah, smart, smart, smart. Which was quicker than pulling a carriage, right? Because you ain't nobody horse, duck. A few hours later, the landlord dragged himself out of bed, washed, and picked up the towel to dry himself. The pin scraped across his face and made a red line from ear to ear. Then he went to the kitchen and thought he'd light his pipe, but when he leaned over the hearth, the eggshells flew into his eyes. "Everything has it in for my face this morning," he said, and sat dejectedly into his grandfather's chair. But a second later, he bellowed, "Ouch!" and jumped up because the needle had stuck him even worse and not in his face. Oh, I hope it. Ooh, you might need to go to the ER, sir. Now he was very angry and suspected the guests who had arrived so late at night. But when he went looking for them, they were gone. Thereupon he swore he would never again take in a pack of no goods who ate all they wanted, paid nothing, and to top it all off, thanked him with mean tricks. And they all lived happily ever after, so they say. That's what happened. That's the story.
Wow.
That's
interesting.
Yes. And that was Grimm's A Pack of No Goods, y'all. Yes, that just happened, honey. Yeah. They don't lead you to anything. You got to kind of lead yourself. So, very short recap for what we had going on, because I may have confused some people. I may have confused myself. I don't know. Let's see here. Our little band of troublemakers went out into the world, took advantage of someone's hospitality, caused absolute chaos, left the poor man to deal with the consequences, and then went on their business like nothing happened. Period. Okay? No grand punishment, no wonderful, beautiful redemption arc. And most importantly, nobody learns the errors of their ways. Okay. Which brings us right back to the question we started with. Who were you in the story? Who were you in the story, Scott?
Sadly, I'm probably the guy that let them stay at their house.
That would be Scott. Okay. Were you running with the pack? Were you the innkeeper? You guys out there? Because Scott clearly just let them stay. Were you watching all of this unfold thinking, baby, this would have never made it through my front door? And why do you think you identify with that person? Scott, why do you think you identify with that person? Y'all put it in the conversation, but let's see what Scott say. What you
Because I'm too nice.
at that innkeeper. But more importantly, what was the moral of the story for you? I don't think this one necessarily gives us like a single answer. Like it's not cut and dry, like, I don't know, some of the other fairy tales we listen to, but you know. What was the moral of the story for you, Scott?
Don't be so nice.
Period. For me, the lesson I kept coming back to was be careful who you invite into your home. And I want to kind of specify on what I mean your home. It's kind of what you make it. Your home could literally be your house. It could be your life, your space, your time, your energy. Like, think of like if you plan a wedding and then somebody's like, oh, well, can you plan mine too? Like, what? That would be my home. Cooking at the potluck and then somebody come and be like, hey, can you cook that same meal? Like, no, that what? That's my home. Getting off of work and the neighbor want to talk you to death, to unaliving. You invading my home. So it could be anything like that. So that's what it was for me. But you know, guys may have heard something completely different. So tell me, who were you in the story and what did the story A Pack of No Goods mean to you? And what morals did you get out of it? So with that, guys, I'm going to bid you guys adieu. This was a short one because it was a really short story. So we're going to bid you guys adieu. So let me grab Oreo Jr. over here. So, guys, as always, we've had fun having you guys hang out with us, and hopefully, you guys had a good time hanging out with us as well. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, check out some other videos, live shorts, all that fun stuff. But with that, guys, we are going to bid you guys adieu. So, from wherever we are, even when we're off creating a bunch of chaos with people who really didn't trust us, and we gave many, many reasons not to trust us, to wherever you guys are, peace and love and happiness. And we'll see you guys later, which means 30 minutes because we got to get more of the Thrill Club that we just started last week. Is good already. So, period. So, y'all come back but we'll, see you guys later. So, with that, we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.